warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Resti Fanisa. Today I will present about my final test statistic. The first is content. The content there are two: the experimental research and correlational research. The first is experimental research case. In a senior high school, a researcher aimed to investigate whether the use of digital storytelling could improve the writing skills of 11th grade students. In this study, the students were divided into two groups, an experimental group and a control group. The experimental group was asked to create stories using digital media that include image, narration, and multimedia elements, while the control group learned writing through traditional methods such as teacher explanation and written exercise. After the learning process, both groups were given a writing test to determine whether there was a difference in their writing achievement. The context is this research applied an experimental research design because it aimed to test whether digital storytelling was effective in improving student writing skills. The independent variable in this study was the use of digital storytelling, while the dependent variable was students' writing achievement. The experimental group was taught using digital storytelling, and the control group was taught using traditional methods. Student writing scores were collected and analyzed using an independent sample t-test to determine whether the difference between the two groups was statistically significant. The hypothesis is the first hypothesis is null hypothesis. There is no significant difference between student writing achievement between students learn through using digital storytelling and those through using traditional method. The second is alternative hypothesis. There is significant difference between student writing achievement between students learn through using digital storytelling and those through using traditional method. Next is problem solving. The first is making a statistical analysis. The second is developing a hypothesis. The third is doing the compilation in SPSS with first step is open the variable view. So type score in name and student scores in label and add type group in name and identify when experimental and second control in values. So after that input the data in the data view. So click Analyze, Compare Means, Non-Parametric Test, Equality Dialog in two independent samples. Next is move variable student score to test variable. Move group to grouping variable. So choose main Whitney and click Define Group. Type 1 in group and type 2 in group 2. Click click continue and click OK. So we have the SPSS output. The next is interpretation and conclusion. The p-value or SIG is 0,008. It is more than 0,05. So the null hypothesis is rejected on the basis of statistical calculation, it can be stated there is significant difference between student writing achievement between students learn through using digital storytelling and those who using traditional method. From the statistical findings, it can be concluded that the use of digital storytelling is effective in improving student writing skills. Students who were taught using digital storytelling showed better writing achievement compared to those who were taught using traditional methods. This suggests that digital storytelling can be used as an innovative and engaging learning medium that helps students organize ideas, develop creativity, and enhance their writing performance. So, next I will present about correlational research case. This study was designed to investigate the possible relationship between students' vocabulary knowledge and their reading comprehension achievement. The participants in this research were students learning English as a foreign language. Their vocabulary knowledge was categorized into several levels, such as very high, moderate, low, and very low. Meanwhile, their reading comprehension achievement was measured through a reading comprehension test. The results were then analyzed to see whether students with higher vocabulary knowledge also achieve better reading comprehension scores. The context is this research employed a correlational design because it aimed to determine whether there was a significant relationship between two variables, student vocabulary knowledge and their reading comprehension achievement. Vocabulary knowledge was measured using an ordinal scale, while reading comprehension scores were measured using an interval scale. Spearman ring correlation was used as the statistical analysis technique. Since the study focused on identifying relationship rather than determining cause and effect. So, the hypothesis from this analysis, the first is null hypothesis, that there is no significant correlation between students' vocabulary knowledge and their reading comprehension achievement. The second is alternative hypothesis, is there is significant correlation between student vocabulary knowledge and their reading comprehension achievement. The next is problem solving. The first is making a statistical analysis. The second is developing a hypothesis. The third is doing the compilation in SPSS. Same with experimental. The step, the first step is open the variable view. So add type vocabulary in the name column and vocabulary student in vocabulary knowledge in the label and add type reading in the name column and student reading comprehension achievement in the label. So input the data in the data view. After that, click analyze, correlate, and bivariate. So move the student vocabulary knowledge and student reading comprehension achievement to the right box. So, and click experiment. So click OK. Uh, this is the data from SPSS. Uh, Now, interpretation and conclusion. The coefficient of correlation is 953. This means there is a high positive correlation between student vocabulary knowledge and student reading comprehension achievement. The significance value or sig is less than 0,05. So the null hypothesis is rejected. Based on the result of the analysis, it can be concluded that student vocabulary knowledge has a significant relationship with their reading comprehension achievement. Students who possess richer and stronger vocabulary tend to understand reading text better and achieve higher reading scores. This implies that vocabulary mastery plays an important role in supporting student reading comprehension ability, and it should be given serious attention in the learning process.